So we start the last week of Dulce Ambición, and we gotta remember that all the drama in this show is over a bakery. So we start with Mary Peace meeting with Josiane in jail. Mary Peace is like, I'm not gonna lecture you, I'm not gonna tell you what's right, I promise I won't say anything about anything that you've done, I'm just gonna be your mom, and gives her the Bible. And Josiane is actually shook at Mary Peace's attitude. Josiane was actually refreshed. And then she got up and actually took the Bible. Back in her jail cell, Josiane is getting questioned by the other inmates. And she shares the cake that Mary Peace brought over with Miss Captain. And Miss Captain said that she had the cake before and that she loved Mary Peace's cakes. Anyways, they leave her alone and Josiane actually started reading her Bible. Oh my god. After seeing Josiane read her Bible, Miss Captain decided to introduce Josiane to another inmate who took her to the worship room in the prison. And this inmate was actually nice to Josiane. She started telling her story to Josiane, and it was a really sad story of how she ended up in jail. And call me confused, but Josiane looked like she was being moved by her story. At one point, she even seemed outraged and concerned for her, which is not like her at all. And then her fellow inmate told her that she found peace and redemption through God, so it seems that they're going to set up Josiane for a redemption arc. Over at Beatrice's house, Grandma Linda said that she's becoming an influencer and that she's getting likes. What is this mess? Anyway, Beatrice asked Jose Elio to look up the orphanage that Fabiana supposedly donated to, but Jose Elio didn't find anything. And my respects for Beatrice, because she immediately went and confronted Fabiana's fake ass. As usual, Fabiana tried to start off being extra fake, and Beatrice knew she was being fake, so she started out being polite. She was like, can you tell me where you donated to? And Fabiana acted stupid. She was like, oh, my system's down, I really can't dig up the record. And Beatrice was like, listen, I have the receipts. And Fabiana was shook. And Beatrice was not going to deal with any of this lying. So she immediately clapped back at Fabiana, and she was like, why are you lying? Fabiana was not ready for what was coming. My girl Beatrice went in. She called her fake, she called her crusty, and she said she was nasty. She said she couldn't believe that she was Vivi's sister, and she told Fabiana to stay away from all of them. Beatrice was out for blood today, but I'm here for it. Fabiana literally had nothing to say about this. Downstairs, Abel's trying to shoot a shot with Britney. Like, Abel, poor girl is just trying to work. And then Abel gets down on his knee and proposes to Britney. And the whole factory was like, girl, you better say yes. You better say yes to him. And Britney said yes to Abel. Oh my god, they're so cute. He really had a bakery proposal. I love this. So we suddenly cut to Kim's wedding, and of course Vivi and Camilo are just fighting as usual. And Kim shows up in some 1800s wedding dress. Like, this is not the dress that I thought Kim would wear. And we get to the altar, and we find out that Kim's real name is Clotilde. Everyone was like, Clotilde? Who that? Like, we don't know her. And then Kim's about to say the I do, and Marcio pop up to ruin the wedding. And Kim doesn't know who to choose all of a sudden. And then these two start arguing over Kim. Passion really talking about he's gonna knock him out again. So, but when did Camilo become TMC? My dude is out here like a tia at Facebook Live at a party. He's getting everything. And Passion delivers on his promise and knocks out Marcio. And Kim's like, you know what? I had it. I'm marrying nobody. She really said I'm too fabulous to get married. Like, she's a total queen. We stand. Kim really ran away from her own wedding. Like, she's a total icon. The icon. So we cut to Marcio at the hospital, and Jordana loves picking up everyone's leftovers because she was there waiting for Marcio. Jordana really talking about, oh, sorry, I thought you were going to press charges, so I was just waiting for you to wake up. Like, Jordana, come on, girl. Back at the police station, Camilo calling the reporter, talking about, I got the tea. But guess who popped in and caught his ass? Jordana caught him talking to the reporter. And then Marcio popped into the police station, and he exposed their asses. He said somebody kept leaking all the police info to the press, and he deducted it had to be somebody at the wedding. And Camilo really had the nerve to blame Jordana. Like, you serious? And Jordana was pissed. She was angry. And she knew Camilo was out to get her. But Jordana was more interested in getting a date. And she got it. She really got a date with Marcio. Like, how? Jordana moves fast. I'll give her that. But girl, love yourself, because she loves picking up everybody else's leftovers. She loves these wounded and broken men. Like, what is it with you, girl? You too pretty and too beautiful and too smart for this nonsense. But I mean, I low-key ship them. Back at jail, Josiane is about to witness a worship session, and the pastor's giving a really passionate sermon. And Josiane is feeling awkward, like she's like, all right, she doesn't know what to do. And he calls her up talking about we're gonna exorcise you today. So the pastor's like, feel the Holy Spirit. And it seems to be working. Josiane started crying. She got on the floor. She was a mess. But then we got this scene, like she just saw the Holy Spirit. And then we immediately cut to a scene of her meeting with Mary Peace again. And Mary Peace noticed. She was like, girl, you're kind of different. And Josiane was like a completely different person. She was like, my inmates love the cakes, and so do I. And I was like, what is this nonsense? And Mary Peace and I both had the same level of skepticism. Like, we both want to believe that Josiane is changing, but she's done so much crap and so much lying in the past that it's hard to take her word for it. Anyways, Josiane tells Mary Peace how she's been reading the Bible and going to church in prison, and then she starts saying that she wants to talk to Regis, and that she also wants to talk to Teo because she wants both of them to forgive her. What? Both Mary Peace and I were shook. We're like, this cannot be real. Is she really changing? Is this real? And then Josiane said that the person that she needed forgiveness the most was from her own mother. So she literally got on the ground and she started begging Mary Peace for forgiveness. I was so shook. I was not expecting this scene. Like, I wanted to believe this is real, but I'm so on the fence. And it seemed like such an amazing moment. And Mary Peace was so moved by this scene that she got on the floor too and she started hugging Josiane. I don't know if this is actually Josiane changing or Josiane is pulling a fast one on all of us. Over at the gym, Agno's talking with the gym lady about some supplements when the light bulb just turns on in his head. So he talks to Mano Santa and the gym lady about which folder they put the supplement information in when they gave it to Beatriz. So he immediately goes and visits Beatriz. And he asks Beatriz and Vivi to show him the folder that the supplement info was in. So Vivi hands him over the plot folder, finally! And they're like, alright, stop keeping us in suspense. And Agno finally confirms that they found the plot document that's gonna help Mary Peace. And they wasted no time because they immediately paid Mary Peace a visit. And this is actually the first time that I've seen Mary Peace interact directly with Bertha. Anyways, Agno talking about, see Mary Peace, I was the one who found the plot document. But then Vivi swooped in and tried to steal the glory from him, talking about, oh, I found it, Mary Peace. I'm glad I was able to help you. Anyways, Mary Peace is super happy and she's like, all right, show me the plot document. And everyone's just super excited. And Vivi hands Mary Peace the plot document. This is the best part about novellas, that it is so satisfying because you're going through these characters day by day, feeling their pain. So when these plot lines finally close, it is so satisfying. Like the gratification that you get from seeing these things happen. Like Mary Peace finally gets her plot documents and the plot is finally resolved. Not Vivi trying to take all the credit for this, but I'm not like mad about this either. I just love seeing Mary Peace happy. Later that night, Agno messy ass pays Fabiana a visit. And Fabiana's being fake as always. She's like, Agno, why you want to see me in such a hurry? And Agno, being the messy bitch that he is, tells Fabiana that she has to leave the apartment immediately. Fabiana acts all pissed. She was like, why are you being so extra? And then she's like, fine, I don't need your crummy apartment anyway. And Agno just laughs because he knows what's coming for her. So Fabiana immediately leaves the apartment the next day and she moves into a smaller, more basic one. I'm getting Josiane vibes from this. So that same day, Mary Peace finally goes back to her own bakery and she swags right in, back into her own office. And Fabiana was not happy. She gave Mary Peace extra attitude. She's like, why you in my factory? And Mary Peace was like, girl, you mean my bakery because this belonged to me? And Fabiana's like, girl, you delusional? You crazy? And Mary Peace is like, I got the receipts. And Amadeo hands over the documents. And Fabiana's not happy. So we're left in the show off between Mary Peace, Amadeo, and Fabiana. And Fabiana knows she's done for. Girl, you are done. I want to see what she's going to do trying to get out of this one. So I'm going to need y'all to remember that all the drama in this show is happening over a bakery. So we start with Mary Peace and Fabiana duking it out now that Mary Peace has the plot document and can prove that she's the legal owner of the bakery. Fabiana's extra pissed. She's like, you're not going to take my bakery away. And Mary Peace is like, girl, I got the receipts to prove that I am the owner. And rightfully so. Mary Peace tried to work it out with Fabiana, but Fabiana wanted nothing to do with her, so this is what she deserves. Not Fabiana trying to switch it up and play to Mary Peace's heartstrings. She really was like, but Mary Peace, I'm your family. We should try to do this amicably. And Mary Peace was not fooled by this fake-ass performance that Fabiana put on. And Mary Peace was like, girl, miss with your whole tears. They're not moving me, and we tried to do it before, and you wanted nothing to do with me, so you better hold on to that energy. And Mary Peace called her fake. When Fabiana heard this, she flipped the switch and was extra pissed. And Amadeo was like, listen, Fabiana, we can do this the easy way or the hard way. The easy way is that you just leave, or the hard way is that we go into trial over this. And Fabiana isn't dumb. She knew she was gonna go broke if she tried to go to court over this. But then Amadeo stepped in and tried to give Fabiana a really bad deal for Mary Peace. He was like, why don't you keep all the money that's currently in the company account and give Mary Peace back her company? Like, Amadeo, whose side are you on? Even Mary Peace is like, what is this crap offer? Because Mary Peace doesn't need to give her anything. She's the legal owner. So she doesn't need to give Fabiana anything to give her factory back. And Amadeo really was like, just trust me on this one, bro. Like, this is why I never stand Amadeo. He never does anything good for Mary Peace. Like, I can't stand him. At least Regis tried. Anyways, Amadeo was like, the choice is yours, Fabiana. And Fabiana was like, y'all ain't gonna fool me. I'm not doing anything. And Mary Peace rubbed it in. She was like, girl, I told you I'd be back for my bakery. Outside of the bakery, Mary Peace really was like, Amadeo, what was that crap deal you just gave me? As she should, because Amadeo did her no favors with that crappy ass deal. And as if it wasn't bad enough, Mary Peace started to feel ill. Nobody in novellas gets ill, which means that Mary Peace is pregnant. Elsewhere, it seems that Camilo once again is starving Vivi and locking her in her room. Bertha can't even do anything because he started taking the key. So she goes and calls Chicle. And Chicle's like, I'm gonna bust you out of there. And Vivi's like, no, call my mom instead. Like, don't do this. Let's do our plan. Like, Vivi, what is this? And Beatriz runs over to Camilo's apartment and confronts him. And Camilo really had the nerve to be like, I didn't lock her up. I was getting her a sandwich. He really got her some Arby's. So we finally get into Vivi's room and she looked like she's dying. And then Camilo over here with his sandwich. He legit threw the sandwich at Vivi like she was a dog. He has to go. Beatriz was extra pissed. She was like, Vivi, we gotta get out of here. Poor Vivi was so scared. Camilo was like, oh yeah, Vivi, you wanna go with your mom? You wanna leave? And of course Vivi said no. So Beatriz went to Octavio to see what they could do about it. Beatriz was like, Camilo's holding her hostage. And then Octavio tells Beatriz about Vivi's stupid plan to run away, which is so dumb because Camilo's gonna track them down wherever they go. Even Beatriz was like, this is a really stupid plan. And Octavio was like, the next day at the studio, everyone's over and Kim has some great news for everybody. Can we just take a moment to appreciate the icon that is Kim? She's really putting a shot into her coffee. An icon. Anyway, Kim announces that she has been contacted by a PR company based out of the United States and that she's gonna be doing PR for Lady Gaga. And everyone's just amazed and confused and we're like, wait, what? And then Kim's like, that's not all. I'm also doing PR for Beyonce. I really did the New York meme. I was like, Beyonce? So we go over to the wine shop and woo, it's mighty empty in there. But Regis is trying. But anyways, Mary Peace pays him a visit. And it's so nice seeing Mary Peace and Regis just getting along. Mary Peace tells him all the good stuff that's happening in her life. And Regis is so happy to just see her and be her friend. And then Mary Peace tells him that Josiane wants to talk to him and wants to apologize. And I love that Regis didn't think about it. He said he would go and hear her out. And then she went to do the same thing to Teo. Because remember, Josiane asked her to ask both of them. But Teo was a little more reserved, and rightfully so. I mean, she only tried to kill him. But and Mary Peace asked him to go visit her as a favor to her. Which makes sense. So we cut to Regis going to visit Josiane in jail. And Josiane is completely different. She's like meek, mellowed out, and she's almost looks like she's repentful. She apologizes to Regis for how toxic she was and for dragging him into her evil plan. And Regis said that he wasn't perfect either, so he forgave her immediately. And that made Josiane happy. Now, I'm still on the fence about her change. On the pro side, Josiane is already in jail. She has nothing to lose by fooling these people. But on the con side, Josiane is a psycho and a liar. So I'm trying to figure out what she would get out of faking being repentful now. I'm still on the fence, but I really want to believe it's true. Anyway, she tells Regis that she's been reading her Bible and that her life has changed. And she tells Regis to go outside and go to church as well. And Regis comments on how she once was leading her the wrong way and now she's leading him the right way. And Josiane leaves it off as they should just continue to be friends. And she asks him to come back and visit him and to go to church as well. And Regis actually does this because the next day, Regis goes to church and the pastor spots him out. And he literally does the same thing he did with Josiane. He's like, we're gonna get the Holy Spirit in you. But are y'all kidding me? This plot was legit solved with a Bible and some church sessions. Like, y'all serious? That's all it took? Anyways, Regis has a breakthrough moment and hugs the pastor. Elsewhere, Fabiana accepts Amadeo's deal and signs the papers over to Mary Peace. And Mary Peace was like, good thing I finally got my bakery back. And Fabiana's like, yeah, let me just say goodbye to everybody and clean out my office. So then Marcio transfers all the money in the bakery over to Fabiana. And Fabiana's gonna be rich, or so she thinks, because William the Hacker is right there. And Fabiana's like, all right, I gotta get out now, so let me clean out my office. And she reaches for something. And we find out that it's the plot gun that Josiane attacked her with. And we know this is going to probably go to Agno. Who else? Come on, let's be serious. All this drama over a bakery. Anyways, Fabiana meets with the whole staff and she announces that she's leaving. She's really talking about we worked so long with each other that we're almost like family. And they clowned her out. They were like, wait, you seriously leaving? And then they started dragging her. And I was here for it. Marcio called her crusty and said that she was annoying. Fabiana was like, what? Even Sueli joined in and she said that she was horrible to work for. And then they all collectively started kicking her out of the bakery. Fabiana started getting pissed and she called them all ungrateful. Bruh. And my boy Abel said, if you don't get out of this factory, I'm gonna throw this cake at you. And he already did it to Vivi, so I know he wasn't playing. I low-key wanted to see him do it though. Anyways, Marcio pushes her out. She's like, all right, girl, you gotta go bye-bye now. And Fabiana leaves screaming and kicking. And Marcio just here hyping them up to make them even more pissed off. They were like, boo bye, bitch. Britney really blew her a kiss. Y'all, I cannot with these people. And Fabiana leaves the exact same way that Josiane left, and literally in the same conditions, thinking that she's gonna have all this money to spend. And then she really tried to bless the bakery. I always told y'all that I can't stand Agno, and here's why. Agno already won, but he just can't help but rub it in because he's a nasty person. Anyway, he calls William the Hacker over. And even Mano Santa was like, Agno, you already won. Like, this whole revenge thing is corny. Like, you need to stop. And he refused to be part of it, so he walked away. So William the Hacker tells Agno about how much money Mary Peace had to give Fabiana. Here's what's not sitting right with me. Agno's gonna scam Fabiana now, and he's gonna indirectly keep Mary Peace's money. That's not sitting well with me. Anyway, he gives William the order to hack her account and transfer all the money to his bank account. And his dumbass can't help it but to go gloat in her face. He's being extra cocky, like he's being like extra in her face. And Fabiana's getting annoyed. She was like, dude, you need to leave my apartment. And he's like, Fabiana, check your bank account, Fabiana, check your bank account. And y'all gotta remember that Fabiana got the Glock ready. And she has the same psycho tendency as Jose. So she's checking her bank account and she realizes something strange. And then William the hacker jumps in. And she's like, what is going on here? And Agno's dumbass, like a cliche villano, starts spilling his whole plan in full detail. Like, sir, that is fraud. You know that. But his nasty ass can't help but rub it in. And Fabiana legit looking like she's gonna shoot somebody. Anyway, for our last scene, Mary Peace is so ready to go back to her bakery. We get to witness her triumphant return. And she slayed when she walked in. Look how great she looks. A total queen. We stand. So Mary Peace does her whole diva entry and surprises everybody. And she's like, guess what? I'm back. And everyone is all shook. They're like, oh my god, it's Mary Peace. And finally we have a victory for Mary Peace. She's like, I'm back in the factory. It's finally mine again. We're gonna be working together again. And everyone cheers. We're all happy. And it's the end of the episode. I love that we finally got a little victory for Mary Peace after everything that she's gone through. Alright, y'all, there's 4 episodes left of Dulce Ambición. So we start with Mary Peace doing her triumphant return to her own bakery. And everyone's so excited to see her back. I love this little moment where she hugged Britney. Abel was like, girl, let me fill you in on what Fabiana was doing when you were away. They told her about how Fabiana cheap ass would turn off the electricity. And Mary Peace was like, what in the ratchet? Like, nah, we're not gonna do that here. Mary Peace is such a diva. She's like, we're gonna bake with love. Sueli, the secretary, asked to meet with Mary Peace. And Sueli came clean about helping Fabiana try to get the recipes from Mary Peace. And you know what? I respect Sueli for this because Sueli wasn't 100% in on it. We all know that Fabiana forced her to do it. And you know what? At least she owned up to what she did. And Mary Peace respected this. And she said that she totally understood. So Mary Peace forgave her. And she said, let's just let bygones be bygones and let's move on. Fabiana wasn't moving on. Agno, the messy queen, is telling Fabiana how he scammed her with William the hacker. And William the hacker was like, yup, I'm such a pro hacker that all your money is gone. And once again, Agno could have just sat his ass at home and done this from afar, but no, he got himself into this mess. Because Fabiana freaked out so bad that she pulled out the Glock. And of course, Agno's dumbass wasn't expecting this. Like, bruh, you poked the bear too much, he's gonna get pissed off. But Mano Santa swooped in and saved the day, I guess. I mean, we weren't rooting for Agno. And Fabiana had no choice but to concede and accept her loss. And Agno really had the nerve to talk down to her like he didn't scam a whole bunch of people. Like he did keep Fabiana's money, which is basically Mary Peace's money. So he needs to chill. And I'm tired of these writers not giving this mofo some punishments. Anyways, Fabiana has a freak out, which I thoroughly enjoyed. And what is it with these villanas freaking out and then breaking mirrors? Y'all be crazy. Now that Fabiana's broke again, she tries to come up with a new plan. So she goes and visits Vivi. And Vivi isn't like buying any of this sisterly love nonsense. And Fabiana always lying. She really said that she gave Mary Peace back the bakery without asking for anything. But thankfully, Vivi can see through all this nonsense. Anyways, Fabiana was like, maybe I can work with you again, Vivi. I can live here, and I can be your assistant again. And Camilo was like, oh, hell no. And then he started exposing her ass. He was like, yup, she sets her fake. She testified against Chicley. She always hated you, Vivi. And Fabiana's like, Camilo, how can you say that? Like, Fabiana, you know damn well he's true. And Vivi kept it 100. She was like, listen, Fabiana, you and I never got close, so this sisterly connection you're pretending to have doesn't exist. I wish you the best of luck. And well, Fabiana was out on her luck again. To the streets, girl. Back at the bakery, we have this really cute moment with Mary Peace just baking with everybody. She's showing Abel her new cakes, and she's being a real leader, showing everybody to bake with love. Then later on, Mary Peace gets a visit from Regis, who fills her in on Josiane's change. And Mary Peace is loving this conversation because she really wants to believe that Josiane can change. And they were having such a good moment, but Amadeo had to walk in and ruin it. Mary Peace was like, Amadeo, Regis told me that Josiane is changing. And Amadeo really had the nerve to be like, she's not gonna change. Like, let me keep it 100. Amadeo doesn't love his kids. He doesn't even watch Carlitos. He never loved Josiane. He don't love his kids. Even Regis was like, you should really give your daughter a chance. Regis telling Amadeo about his own child. And Amadeo really tried telling Mary Peace not to talk to Regis. But Mary Peace is a queen, you know, and she was like, boy, you're not gonna tell me who to or not to talk to. We stand. And clown-ass Amadeo had no choice but to back down. Honestly, I would 1,000 times prefer that Mary Peace end up alone than with either one of these two. Anyways, Regis leave, and they're talking about what to do with Josiane. But Mary Peace really had a dumbass moment. She was like, Josiane has suffered enough, and she's changing. We should appeal her conviction. Like, no, Mary Peace, this is literally what got you into this mess. By going too easy on Josiane. Let her catch those ass whoopings in jail. Let her repent and rot away there. It's what she deserves. Like, let her learn her lesson. And I'm starting to think that Mary Peace and Amadeo really do belong together because they balance each other out. Hear me out. Mary Peace cares too much about their kids to the point where she'll spoil them and let them get away with literally murder. And Amadeo don't love his kids. And he don't even give a crap about them. So in a weird way, they'll balance each other out. Uh-oh. And then Mary Peace got dizzy again. She was gonna fall. Amadeo had to catch her. And she was like, tee-hee, it was nothing. Like, no, she's pregnant again. She's pregnant again. Over in jail, Teo finally goes see Josiane, and Josiane seems relieved. Teo is a little on the fence. Josiane tells Teo that she's happy that he finally came to go see her, and she immediately apologizes. And her apology really felt real. Like, I'm starting to really believe it. Because Josiane wasn't even trying to get the pity points from Teo. She just flat out said that she was sorry for playing with his emotions. Like, what is this realization? And Teo was like, you know, you did a lot of crappy things to me, but I forgive you. And Josiane looked relieved and happy that Teo was able to move on. I'm starting to believe that she's really changing. Back at Camilo's apartment, Camilo always bothering Vivi as always, and he's like, all right, I'm leaving now. And Vivi wasted no time the second Camilo left. She called her dad to hear about the plan, and Octavio told her that she just had to wait 4 days to run away. 4 days! So she immediately calls Chicle over and tells her the plan, which is still really stupid. And once again, Chicle is like, listen, I don't want you to give up your digital influencer life. But I low-key don't blame Vivi for being like, I just want to run away, I'm over this Camilo situation. And Chicle once again was like, just keep that secret phone on you because it can track you wherever you go, alluding to the fact that Vivi's inevitably going to get kidnapped by Camilo sooner than later because we only have 4 episodes left. Now, what's going to piss me off is that if Chicle does end up killing Camilo, they literally did all this suffering and Vivi being locked up for nothing because he would have just shot his ass from the beginning and none of this would have happened. And Vivi's dumbass acting like she's not going to get kidnapped. Really quickly, Lyris goes and visits Tonio, and she's really talking about some, I miss you. I'm low-key here for this horny couple. Tonio really talking about, all right, I'll go deliver some more lemon cake. Like, y'all nasty, but I'm here for it. And then Lyris went home and tried to tell Cassia that she was going to start a relationship. But Lyris must have been extra obvious about her hoeing because Cassia already told her that she knew about lemon cake. Like, what is this mess? Also, I like that they're calling Tonio lemon cake. So Jose Elio goes back to work with Mary Peace, and Mary Peace is so happy to see him again. And then Agno popped in with him, and he told Mary Peace that he had an offer to make her. And Agno basically told Mary Peace that he would sell her back her old apartment at a discount, which honestly, the fact that he basically has her money is the least he could have done. I still can't stand his ass, but I guess he did something nice for Mary Peace. And Mary Peace was so happy that she's gonna have her fabulous apartment back. And so we cut to Mary Peace going back into her apartment, and she's so happy. She's literally dancing over here. Just seeing her happy makes me so happy. And then Mary Peace once again asks Amadeo to do something about Josiane. Back in jail, Josiane is telling the whole congregation what she did and how she scammed her mother and ended up in jail. And Josiane was talking about how she murdered a whole bunch of people. And the priest had me laughing because he was shook at all the crap that Josiane did. Fabiana, trying to figure out what to do with her life now that she's broken homeless, decides to go to visit Don Antero and Grandmama Evelina. And she really tried asking Grandmama Evelina for money, but her snake ass don't have any money either. So she was like, girl, I got nothing to offer you. So then Fabiana asked Don Antero for like $5 so that she could go back to Espiritu Santo because she says she's gonna become a nun for real this time. Like, what is this mess? And in our last scene, it looks like Amadeo did end up appealing Josiane's conviction. So here we are at this mess. But Mary Peace looks amazing. Like, girl. Anyways, Amadeo was like, y'all should reduce her sentence because she's really sorry. And all the judges are like, bruh, she legit murdered 2 people and tried to kill the 3rd one. Like, no way. And Amadeo's like, but she's really sorry. And lastly, Josiane is like, I really am sorry. But is Josiane really sorry or not? We got 3 episodes. I feel like something's gonna go down. Hey y'all, this is the 3rd to last episode of Dulce Ambición, and I'm shocked at how much they can pack in 1-hour episodes. Anyway, we start right where we left off last time. Josiane was like, I'm really sorry. I really mean to commit all those crimes. Can I get a reduced jail sentence now? She was like, also, I really love the Bible, so please cut my jail sentence in half. And these judges were like, well, I guess she's sorry, so why not? Let's do it. Whoa. And Amadeo and Mary Peace were happy, but I mean, like, it's Josiane. I still don't know what to think about her. I don't know if this is an act or not. Speaking of fake people, Fabiana talking about she's gonna become some nun. And Grandmama Evelina really acting like she ever cared for her. Don Antero was looking at both of them like, y'all fake AF. But Grandmama Evelina gave Fabiana the keys in the old country house where they used to live. We know this is going somewhere for Fabiana. Later that night, it's Evelina's wedding, and Mary Peace looks stunning, oh my god. But Mary Peace tells Amadeo that she wasn't ever 100% convinced about that romance. So we cut over to the wedding, and Don Antero's telling Evelina that her dress isn't that cute. And Marlene's swagged and ready to slay in white. Evelina was extra pissed, but Don Antero was low-key liking it. Marlene was like, you like it? It's cute, right? Don Antero has a dress fetish. Grandmama Evelina hated her ass, confronted her. She was like, why are you wearing white? And then she tried to rub it in, and she was like, too bad, because I'm still the bride. And unfortunately, you can tell that got to Marlene. So Don Antero tells everybody that the dance is starting, and he wants to dance with Evelina. But she's like, no, ew, I don't like to dance. And Evelina was gaslighting him at his own wedding. She was like, oh, that's an old memory from some past girlfriend. And then he sees Marlene dancing next to him, and he decides to dance with her. And his memory started coming back. He remembered him dancing with Marlene. And he was like, oh my God, it was you all along. And Marlene was so happy. She was like, yes, you finally remember me. And Don Otero turns over to Evelina, and he's like, I was not trying to marry you. And she's there looking like a dumbass. He's like, I want to marry Marlene. Like, this is such a cute moment. And I was living for Evelina catching that karma. Now give her some jail time, y'all. But can we talk about how Marlene went from being a guest to this being her own wedding? Like the way that she slayed this situation. But they were so cute, oh my God. I stand this old couple so much. Later at Mary Peace's apartment, Grandmama Evelina was extra salty. But Mary Peace was keeping it 100. She was like, you really didn't love Antero. You just wanted a couple. And she was like, yeah, I just wanted someone to take care of me. And Mary Peace really dragged her. She was like, listen, you took advantage of that poor man when he lost his memory, and you manipulated the situation. She was like, you a lot like Josiane. And Grandmama Evelina was offended. She was like, don't call me Josiane, but you are, girl. Then we cut to Don Antero and Marlene finally being happy. And oh, it was so cute to see Marlene happy and finally married. The next day, we see Fabiana going back to the convent, and she's like, surprise, it's me. Girl, nobody wanted you back. The nun really was like, girl, you better get used to that basic life because you ain't gonna have no luxuries here. And Fabiana was like, that's okay. So some time goes by, we see Fabiana doing some work, and then Fabiana gets a visitor one day. It's this jerk. Freaking Gael really still around. I'll tell you all more about him in a little bit. So freaking Camilo is really like out here talking to the reporter, giving him more tea. But Jordana caught his ass and confronted him. And she exposed his ass right away, as she should. And Camilo threatened Jordana in front of all the other police officers. And the commander was like, listen, dude, like, I kind of do have to, like, report you. But Camilo's smart. He was like, you can't get fired if you resign first. And he said he was going to go live in the woods with Vivi. Red flag, red flag. Over at jail, we cut to this cute little family scene between the three of them. And Josiane's really like, thank you for believing in me. She really told Mary Peace that she didn't deserve her after everything that she did. And Mary Peace told her that she was her mother and she would always be there for her. And then Regis showed up. And him and Josiane were, like, all friendly, but, like, not in a weird way. And Regis is talking about how Josiane helped them go to church and, like, is leading him into a better new life. And, like, it's almost surreal how, like, all of this is happening. And I want to believe this is real so bad. But something in the back of my mind is, like, everything's too perfect. There's 2 episodes left. Then Josiane went and asked Mary Peace to forgive her again. Like, she put on the show, but it wasn't fake this time. And Mary Peace hugged her and, like, forgave her. Like, I really want to believe this is real. Over at Camilo's apartment, Camilo's showing Vivi the creepy cabin in the woods that he's about to drag her to. He's really talking about some, isn't it charming? That looked like somewhere where you go to get kidnapped. And Vivi was like, we're gonna go live there? Like, that's way secluded. And Camilo was like, yeah, Vivi, do you have a problem? And Vivi was like, red flag, girl, you're about to get kidnapped. Chicle really go to Mary Peace, talking about me and Vivi are gonna run away. And Mary Peace was like, wait, what? I have to say bye to her first. And Chicle really talking about some, Vivi's gonna give up her entire life for him. But Chicle, what are you doing? You really sat on your ass this whole time planning with Vivi and that stupid plan. This is literally a couple that I cannot stand because they were so stupid the entire time. Over at Beatrice's house, Grandma Linda is showing Octavio how she's now an influencer. Like, this is really a thing. She really got posts and stuff. She really became an influencer too. Anyways, we cut to Octavio telling Beatrice that Vivi's gonna run away the next day. And Beatrice is freaking out. She's like, oh my God, we have to do something right now. And yes, girl, because Camilo's about to kidnap her. So Gael is back. Not that we wanted him back, but, like, he better be back to catch those punishments. Fabiana's like, leave me alone. And he's like, no, I really like you and I want you to go with me. And then he creepily starts telling Fabiana his usual thing about the Super Ramirez and Mateo's family feud. And we get a flashback to the OG Grandma Dulce killing everybody. And honestly, Gael should have died in that fire too. He can still catch that burning car though. And what's really kind of annoying is that Gael went on the entire show being crazy obsessed with this Mateo's and Ramirez family blood feud. And all of a sudden he's like, I just kind of got over it. Like, what? He was like, Fabiana, we should join forces. And he mentioned a key component to this offer. There's a lot of money on the line. And she was like, yes. So Beatrice wants to talk to Vivi before she leaves, but Beatrice is smart, unlike the rest of them. She tries to pretend to be Camilo's buddy. She's like, Camilo, we've been arguing lately and we're family. We shouldn't be arguing. Smart move, Beatrice. And Camilo's like, did you know that me and Vivi are gonna go live in the woods far away? And Beatrice is like, wait, what? So she goes and talks to Vivi and she's like, dude, you're gonna get kidnapped. You know this. Like, everybody knows, except for stupid ass Vivi. And Vivi's like, I got this under control. Like, girl, you've been saying you have Camilo under control and then he literally locks you in your room and starves you. Like you don't have this under control. And she's like, I'm gonna run away with Chicle, it's all gonna be good. But we know it's not gonna be good. And then Camilo busted in and he was like, are y'all saying bye to each other? Thankfully, Beatriz played it smooth because Vivi was extra obvious. And I know damn well Camilo is onto them now. He ain't that stupid. Even Beatriz said, girl, you gotta watch him. He is a detective. Like, he knows body language and all that stuff. Vivi's like, one more day. Girl, we only have 2 episodes left and you're for sure gonna get kidnapped in one of them. So we go to Fabiana, who's sneaking out in the middle of the night out of the convent, and she gets caught by the nun. And the nun dragged her ass. She was like, listen, Fabiana, I know you only came back because of necessity. And then she read her. She was like, you always had a cruel heart, but I still loved you anyway. And as usual, Fabiana acts shocked when someone tells her the truth about herself. This nun ain't dumb. She was like, you run away with that boy, huh? She was like, I know you're gonna be up to no good. So she legit gave Fabiana a blessing because she knew Fabiana was about to be in that BS. And Fabiana really talking about some, I live the nun life wherever I go. Fabiana is so fake. And she very fakely told the nun that she wished her happiness. And her fake ass swagged out. So her and Gael finally run off. And y'all, they went back to the old house where all of this mess started. I can't stand either of these two. Can they just catch the burning car? Anyway, in our last scene, Fabiana and Gael finally go back. And Fabiana has a little present for Gael. It's the plot gun that she took from the office. And we're left with Gael's reaction. Will she do it? You do it, Fabiana. Just do it, Fabiana. Do it.